Osman?
I don't want to be in your video.
So here we are. We've got the Lada with us. We managed to start it, um, but I'll show you guys a few clips of how we started the whole process. I started off with taking out the spark plugs and putting a bit of two-stroke oil into it. So what happens is with the two-stroke oil, the combustion chamber, those are the cylinders where the pistons are moving in and out of, those manage to get a bit of lubrication when I slowly turn the engine. And I also changed the oil by first putting a bit of turpentine oil in that. So turpentine is really thin. It's what we use to thin out red oxide paints. But it's not the best thing to do. It's not the best method. It's a shortcut to thin out the oil and clean out all the passages. If we were really doing it for a much nicer engine, what we would do is remove the oil pan and clean it out. But in this case, we didn't have much hope of, and we don't think this engine is working that great because it has something called oil plugs extensions. So that means that the spark plugs are moved further out so that they don't get sprayed with engine oil. What happens is there is a bit of leakage, and the spark plugs end up getting oil on them and they don't work. So what they do is when the engine's worn out and it's doing this, it's having oil come into the combustion chamber. What they do is they put something called oil plugs. So we didn't have much hope on it because it had that, but we did go on with the process and try to start it just for our own satisfaction of knowing what the engine was like. After the changing the fluids and putting a bit of 2T oil in there, we also got the carbs serviced, and we changed the spark plugs, we changed the cables, and we changed the coil. Then what happened was, since I don't have too much experience with this, Ryan came over, he checked the points and he got it running. So he managed to get it running. The only problem is that the carb is not working well. So what happens is the float is probably jammed in a certain position where it's flooding. So when it floods, it doesn't start till a little bit of fuel is reduced, and then it runs for a bit and it just shuts off. Next up, I might attack the brakes and figure that out. And I don't think we'll do much more on the engine. But I hope you guys enjoy the clips, and let me know what you guys think. So I had to stop because the spark plugs were quite stuck. So I thought I'd get one of these. My friend Ryan had them, so I didn't have to buy them. I could just borrow them. These are called plug sockets. They're much deeper, and they allow the socket to fit right in without interfering with the other side. So now I'll be able to remove the others, which are far tighter than this one. Now that the spark plugs are off, I'm going to take some 2T oil and squirt it into each cylinder. What will happen is the oil will help lubricate the cylinders, while the oil can still burn away once the engine starts up. I was able to turn the engine, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the carb off. So first I'll have to take off the air filter, then take off the carb. So we managed to get the carb serviced, and now it works. What was happening is it was all jammed up and it wouldn't even rotate. But I sent it to a mechanic and they were able to get everything done. So now it's fine. So we'll install the carb. We'll be changing the cables, spark plug cables. basically I'll have to modify this, change the ends and fit these onto it. We've got the ignition coil. This is just a generic one that should fit. And we've got the capacitor. We've also got fresh spark plugs. And now that we've changed all this, and we'll also flush the oil, and we'll come to know what the situation is. So I'll start off with getting these cables ready. So here we've got the spark plug cables, and we've got the high tension leads. So this has a thread inside. Not sure if you can see that. What I'll do is I'll shove this in and turn it. And that's how this works. Forgot to do that. Put this to this end. Maybe I should redo this. Yep. There we go. That's done, and then you slip this on. Now what I'll have to do for the other end is take one of these, open this up and put them onto this. Just hold it like this.
Video out of it, so don't spoil it, okay? It's recording now.
Yeah, it's recording. Okay, here we go.
See, don't join those two eyes together because then you can leave the.
So put this direct.
Yeah. Wait. Put the coil direct. Just fit that properly first.
Okay.
You don't have to remove it.
Okay.
Okay.
This do accordingly.
Yeah. That the moment it starts throwing out from there, you will see. Okay.
Start.
Start. Correct. Any dashboard lights are coming on?
Yeah, one red light is coming.
So the car must be.
Wait, no, don't touch this leak anymore. Don't give the fuel pump anymore.
Shut up. Stop.
Now try.
Yeah, petrol's come. Give.
Full throttle open.
You go straight in all the fuel.
No, if you pump, no will go in.
Slide it in. This side. Just hold it. It'll start, huh? It'll start. We're starting a diesel generator now.